Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with StraightSmile Solutions, StraightSmileSolutions.com, and today we're going to talk about avoiding premolar extractions and why I often think Invisalign is better than braces if you're looking to avoid extractions. And I'll explain why. And again, I never worked for Invisalign Align Technology. I never will, never have. I actually do. I've gotten really good at the product, and I'd love not to be good at it, because I just hate everything they stand for, but it's a great product. So, I mean, what can I say? And there's a lot of other aligner companies that are also great for more simple cases. But when it comes to a super hard case, what it comes down to is the doctor's experience with the product. It always cracks me up, and I work with a lot of doctors, helping them optimize their treatment plans. And a lot of times, they'll hear from other orthodontists, oh no, or patients will hear from other orthodontists, oh, it's not possible to do this with Invisalign. Anytime someone says that, I go, let me prove you wrong. It's very rare that I can see a case that, quote, is possible or better with braces and not possible with Invisalign. There's plenty of cases that are not possible without jaw surgery. Yes, I agree with that. But with maybe two exclusions, you're much more likely to have a case that's going to turn out better with Invisalign than braces than the other way around. And I'll kind of go over that a little bit more. So, what are the cases that would be better with braces? I can think of two off the top of my head, and there might be more. So certainly if you had an impacted teeth, anything that needs an exposed bond, a gold chain, an impacted second molar, impacted canine, easier with braces. I'm not saying you can't do it with Invisalign, because I have. It's just a million times harder, and I'd probably charge a lot more for it. But for any other type of case, actually, there's more tricks up your sleeve with Invisalign, and let me explain why. And a lot of times doctors have a hard time believing me with this, but it is really true. So let's talk about crowding, okay? So what are the different ways we can fix crowding? Well, there are many different ways. So just simple straightening, like in this situation, expanding the arches. So right now that arch is a certain width. If you measured the diameter of the arch from molar to molar, you can actually, as you straighten with a wire or with Invisalign, you can expand the arches if the bone permits. If the patient is periodontally compromised, maybe not. In a healthy younger patient, yes. If it's a teenage patient, I highly recommend using an expander first. It's going to be much more predictable and much healthier for the patient and give them airway out benefits with their airway as well. So use an expander first, then go into Invisalign. But yeah, you can expand the arches, make them wider, okay? Another way you can do things is you can procline incisors. Now, you're not always going to want to do that. It depends on the bone. It depends on the bite. It depends on the lip position. You would need a cept in order to know if you should do that or not. You really can't just wing it. But that's leaning the front teeth out. So we've got expansion and proclination are two ways. We can do both of those with braces and aligners. But now we're going to start getting into some other options that you could only do with aligners, specifically Invisalign. I haven't, some of my white label has been okay with some of these movements, but Clear Correct, no. SuraSmile, no. Reveal, I don't know. I just haven't seen as good of outcomes yet. I don't feel like their software is predictable for these more difficult movements. So another way that you can go, and I have a ton of videos on this, so anytime you want to learn more for one of my videos, you can just go into my YouTube channel, which is YouTube, then go into the search bar and put in StraightSmile Solutions, and then that will take you into my YouTube channel, and then you can put in any keyword. So for this keyword, I recommend, if you want to know more, you can put in the word distalization. And the word distalization will take you to those videos where we're going to learn about what I'm going to talk about next. So one thing you can't easily do with braces is distalization. You can do a tiny bit with an open coil spring. They have all these kind of mousetrap appliances, these distal jets and stuff like that you can get, but they're the most uncomfortable, painful appliances ever. I would never put one. I think I have put some in the patient's mouth, but that was back when Invisalign wasn't good. I would never put one now. If someone needed distalization, I'd say, sorry, you got to do Invisalign. I'm not doing braces on you. Too much work. So, and you're going to hate it. So let's just make you comfortable. So what it will do is, of course, you can't have erupted or impacted wisdom teeth in order to use distalization. They have to be out, gone, and healed. And then you can it's called sequential distalization. You're just scooting this tooth back, better on the top. There's a lot, you can get a few millimeters on the top. Scoot this molar back. When that's scooted, you have a space now. Then you scoot this back. When that's scooted, you have a space now, and so on until you've done the whole mouth. It does take time, but it really works. You can definitely, depending on the ridge, get a few millimeters up top and at least a millimeter, millimeter half on the lower. You can usually get less because of the ramus, but it works very, very well. So now we've gone over different ways that we can avoid extractions. We've gone over arch expansion, proclination, distalization. Another way is IPR, or interproximal reduction. I can do that in both Invisalign and braces. The nice thing about Invisalign is that the software quantifies it and stages it for you and finds the best place to do it with the most enamel and stuff like that. So I feel like it's more accurate. Basically, with all that, assuming you can do all that, if it's not a periodontal patient, the wisdom teeth are out, there really should never be any need, and if the patient's young, to do extractions. You can totally avoid them. So that's why I wanted to let you know that if you've got a super hard case, you really should consider Invisalign. If someone tells you it's not possible, that person is probably not very experienced in Invisalign, because in the right hands, they'll say yes. So if you want to find the best doctor, don't even go to the Invisalign doctor locator. I mean, you can to get started, but you just want to call your orthodontists and even general dentists who do ortho, but I would at least want to see them as gold or more. That's going to tell you that at least they do a fair amount of cases on the doctor locator, and ask them, you do ortho, yes. What percentage of your cases are Invisalign or clear aligners? And if they're not telling you it's at least 50%, then they're not experienced. Because anyone that is experienced would do more of it, because they realize it is probably a superior product over braces. So I'm not going to say just Invisalign. I'm going to say clear aligners, because there's a lot of orthodontists and dentists out there that are doing amazing ortho with just generic white label clear aligners, which work just as well for a mild to moderate case, and it's like a fraction of the price, the lab fee. So that way they can lower the overall fees to the patient, and they don't have to charge them an arm and a leg. Because Invisalign does charge us a huge price in order to use their product, and it goes down as we do more cases. But unless you're super high on the doctor locator, you're not going to get a volume discount. The minimum you can be is gold to get a volume discount. So, and it's a minor volume discount. If you're diamond or whatever, it's upwards 38%. So that's a pretty sweet volume discount. And hopefully they're passing that on to their patients. Not everyone is. So anyways, hopefully this was helpful. If you have any other questions about Invisalign cases, or if you want help with your Invisalign case, we'd love for you to visit StraightSmileSolutions.com. Thanks.